this is my brushes here. And my brushes basically, oh, it's hard to see. These are my brushes here. And this was a packet of brushes at Walmart for like $6. And this one here was my most expensive brush, which I bought because it has a little teeny, I'd have to put my macro on for you to see it. That's how small it is at the end. And I got that at Joann Fabrics for I think a little over $2, okay? And this is what I use to do all of the intricate little houses and things like that. That's all it is. It's a little bit of, you know, it's inexpensive paint brushes. And my paint tray, I'll have to take you off of that little, to show you. I have my paint tray sitting on top of a drawer. And it's just a series of paint that I picked up that was on sale. This was on a clearance for 50 cents. This is folk art. You know, I think this was on sale one time. Apple Barrel at Walmart. These here, where I bought a whole package of these, I think for $9, and I'm still using them. I've been using them for months. Because I only make the little teeny things on the eggs with my paint, the paint lasts a long time. And my only big expense that I ever do when it comes to my painting, and that I regret doing it, to be honest with you, and nothing against the woman who makes these or whose name is behind these, is I really didn't need to go to the expense of a brand name palette and paint caddy and all of that. All you really need is a jar or a cup with some water in it, and you could even use a foam plate. I have another one that's only cost me like this, but smaller, that only cost me 88 cents at Walmart. You know, my only regret in my entire craft room is going with a brand name thing, because I really did not need that. I really didn't. Okay, so now, as you can see, it's all shiny, and I don't just brush on, you know, some kind of shiny stuff. What I do is when the egg is done, I turn it upside down, and I drill a hole big enough to put in a very large screw. And on top of that screw, I tie a little bit of jute, because I happen to have jute on me in my craft room, because I use jute for a different craft that I do. And then I take that jute and I tie it to either a stick or something that I have that I can extend this from. And then I take this entire egg, I hold onto the screw, and I take the entire egg and I dip it in a Minwax high gloss varnish. And I let it hang dry. And after it's hung dry, it'll start to get to the point where it starts to dry, and you'll see a little teeny drop at the bottom of your egg. Always take a piece of paper and dab that drop, because you don't want your egg drying with that drop on top, because it'll become discolored. But if you notice, the color of the egg after the varnish has pretty much stayed the same color it was, and that's only because of putting on that Elmer's glue at the beginning. Okay, so I got my little hole here, and what I do is I always dip these eggs the night before I'm going to retire, and then I come in the next morning and the eggs are completely dry. I think they take a good 2 or 3 hours to dry, and no, I do not sit around and wait for that. So this is my finished egg, and the next video will be about how I actually go about painting them. And you'll see different ones and different sizes, and each one is completely different. This is a finished one that does not stand up on its own. Okay, it's a hen egg that will roll away. So I've actually ordered egg stands for them. I've got those coming in the mail. This one I use sometimes just to hold the egg while I'm painting it. And then I also have the wren eggs, which I will show you right now. Oops, lost one. Okay, these are the wren eggs. And I always save my jars. The Wren eggs are tiny. Like I said, they're like 5/8 by 7 inches high, by 7/8 inches high. And I actually paint the seams on these eggs too. And all of these already have had their tops glued with the Elmer's glue. And I actually make keychains out of them. And once the little scene is painted, and I'll flip it to my macro here so you can see. Once the scene is painted on the egg, and I know this light is horrible, each one has a little church, and a little person, and a salt box house, and some sheep. And once they're done, I put a screw eye in the top, and then I add a keychain to it. And I was lucky enough to find this, I'll show it to you, at an antique shop that was going out of business. I happened to find this rooster, and it's a coffee mug tree, basically, but it had a rooster or a hen on top of it, and I said how perfect to display my keychains, which I'll only be making 50 of. Take it off the macro here. Okay. So I'll only be making 50 of the Wren egg keychains. And that's what you see is my entire supply of the hen eggs. I'm not going to continue on with the hen eggs. The hen eggs cost too much money, and I haven't been able to find a good deal on the hen eggs. So I did buy some of these at full retail and some of these on eBay, but by the time I got done, the cost is not going to equal out to what I care to have the cost done. Okay, this is a goose egg. I have one goose egg, and I'm not buying any more goose eggs, and I'll tell you why. They cost $3 each, retail. And I really haven't found any online that I care to spend enough money on. Okay, the best cost eggs so far have been the Wren eggs, or have been, yeah, my little Wren eggs, or have been the jumbo eggs. And I ended up being able to make a deal for 20 of the jumbo eggs. And I was very thrilled with that deal. And as you can see, I'm showing you a couple that I did Christmas scenes on, and we'll get to those when I actually start painting. So this is now part 2, evidently, since I'm already into this video by 16 minutes. This is part 2 of how I paint my eggs, and we're going to go and continue on the next video, in which while I'm painting, I will probably give you tips on how to craft. I've been in the craft business for over 20 years, and I do different crafts every year, and to try to keep my interest and to try to do things that I like to do, and not something that I feel I'm doing begrudgingly or just to make money. You gotta love what you do when it comes to crafts, because you're never gonna get back the amount of money that you, well, I shouldn't say the amount of money, but you'll never get back what you put in for time and passion. So you really gotta love what you do when it comes to crafting. And how I charge for my eggs is by I look at a product when it's finished, and I say, do I like it? Yes, okay. And then two things come to mind on how I charge for my eggs. And one of those is, what would I pay for that egg? Okay? And if I did pay that amount for my own egg, would I still make money on the product? And the answer is yes, on both counts. So because I would pay $20 for this egg. And that's all I'm charging is $20 for this egg. Okay? You'll find some craft shows and some people that'll charge $20 just for one of the painted hen size eggs, okay, in which I charge $8. I would pay $8 for one of these eggs to sit in my home. They're novel, okay, they're one of a kind, they're hand done, they're pretty. I think the children will love them, because every time they move this, they're going to see something different on it, especially the Christmas ones. And, you know, that's how I price things. I don't say, you know, well, let's say I paid, you know, $2 for this one egg, and because it needed a stand, I paid another $1, and see, that's about 16 cents worth of paint, and then, of course, now my time at $7.50 an hour, or $10 an hour, or wherever it is, forget it, okay? And then try to calculate that by how many eggs. I was never a mathematician. I was never very good in math, and I'm still not today. So basically what I do is I buy what I like. I buy it at the best possible price I can buy it at. I find out in the end, if I charge $5 for this keychain, which was hand painted intricately, a scene on this egg, would I make money on it? And the answer for me is yes. Okay. Did I enjoy doing it? Did I have a relaxing time? Was it enjoyable? You know, yes, 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 and more yeses. And you know, we'll get into more tips later on. I don't want to lose your patience. I know you're dying to see how I do the eggs and how they get painted. So we'll just go on from there. And we'll see you next eggs time.